a big difference that I found is one asset, just going down to one asset, like focusing on one entry, one asset, and keeping it so simple. I've lost more money in paying for prop firms than I've ever lost in the actual market. The only regret I have is taking the year off, I guess. I wish I had have just kept going, but circumstances.
Do you think people as prop traders want to trade live with prop firms, or do you think that people that go to prop firms, from your position, equity trader turned prop trader, are you doing it for a live account, or are you doing it just to take payouts and then fund your own futures account?
But if I had any recommendation to be a successful trader, it would be to find friends, pay for them if you have to, like I did, but find them.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. I got a very special guest in the building. Christine is here. Finally, I was just talking to Christine before we started, and I was like, I kind of feel like you've been on the podcast. We've known each other for so long, but no, first time. Very excited. So,
yeah.
Christine, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm very excited. I've literally always wanted to be on your podcast.
I appreciate it. I am looking forward to seeing you in October at the conference in LA with David and everybody. That's going to be good. Well, hopefully, are we doing another podcast then in person too? Like, what's the game plan with Randy and everybody? What are we doing?
The plan is to do an in-person podcast with you and whoever else we can fit in, whoever's there.
So listeners, Christine, Randy and Thomas were on the podcast a few weeks ago, episode 185. They all run a podcast together called Behind the Charts. It's new. Make sure you go check it out, subscribe, give them the love. It's awesome. I think it's different than what I'm doing because what I'm doing is interviewing traders, experienced traders, new traders, like a wide range. You guys are really focused on like the struggles of new traders. Am I right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I feel like you come to your podcast to really learn things. And I've never looked at our podcast as someplace you can learn. I've looked at it as basically like if you're a new trader and you don't have friends, we provide that for you. Like come to a room where you can just sit, talk about trading, the like ups and downs, the shit that goes on in trading. And hopefully that kind of fulfills a need that you have.
And your background in trading started with swing trading with Andrew Aziz. Shout out to Andrew. Andrew was on what episode was Andrew? Dude, let me go back here and see.
Years ago, I listened to it.
That was and that was a funny episode because I thought we were doing like a typical, I don't know if I've ever said this on the show. I thought we were doing like a typical hour-long episode, me and him. Yeah. It was episode 87. And we got on and he was like, all right, I got 20 minutes. Let's go. I was like, okay. So we did like a very short episode. But is that your intro to trading was you made a bunch of money swing trading and then you've transitioned into prop trading, right?
No, I made no money swing trading. And really? I went right. Well, I've made a little now, but in the beginning, I made zero money swing trading and I went directly to J trading. And I went with Andrew Aziz's 1 minute and 5 minute opening orb traded on stocks. So basically, stock gapped. You decide to go in the direction of whichever way it's going. And that's the strategy that I traded for about the first year and was in his group, which is Bear Bull Traders.
So what made you leave the group and switch to day trading and even prop firms?
I ended up taking a year off trading. And I think this happens a lot with the girls. So you spend time trading and then something in life happens. So for me, I had 2 kids and we decided to sell our house and go traveling. So I remember trying, actually. I tried to continue the momentum. I brought my laptop out in our RV with 2 kids, my husband. I think I did it twice. No go. Did not work. Just couldn't get into the routine of it to keep going. So I ended up taking an entire year off. Not really meaning to. I just didn't trade. I actually ended up trying some other things like this is going to sound so silly, but like I ended up trying a print on demand, like Etsy shop, like when you're just trying
to. That is not silly. I thought you were going to say Feet Finder or something like OnlyFans, Christine.
I wouldn't have probably.
You're like, I would have made more money.
Yeah, that would have been a much better idea if I did Feet Finder, man. Anyways, I tried the whole print on demand. It didn't work. Like nothing worked. And I didn't like it. I actually despised it. I despise selling to people online. Yeah. I can't stand it. can't stand it. So
Interesting.
took the year off, and then I rolled around back to day trading because we had moved to Mexico at this point for the winter. And I was looking for something else. I didn't want to go back to Bearable Traders because the group was too big. You signed in online, you watched them live trade, but you were just another person in a room full of people. You could talk, but it was like hard to really integrate yourself into a community. So all I knew was that I wanted a smaller, more intimate community, and I like shopped around for a while. And then I basically found you through your podcast and your Black Shirt Club, and then that's why I signed up for that. And then once I was in there, like the rest is history, and I'm still around.
Hey traders, a quick break from the podcast to thank our sponsors. First, Top One Futures. They've been a sponsor of this show for a very long time. Most of you have already tried Top One Futures using my discount code. But now they've dropped these new accounts. They're called Pro accounts. They are instant funded accounts, so you don't have to waste time in a challenge. They have an intraday trailing drawdown instead of an end of day trailing drawdown, but they offer you the capacity to scale the business for $10, $15, $20,000 payouts all in one go, depending on how many accounts you're copy trading. So head to top1futures.com. There's a link below. Use the code ASFX if you do buy anything. That'll add 5% extra on whatever their best discount is at the time. So use the code ASFX. Head to the website, read the FAQ, read the rules, make sure they're a good fit for you, but definitely consider checking out these pro accounts. So far, everyone's loving it, and I think you will too. Our second sponsor for today is TradeZella. You can now use the code ASFX to save 20% on any membership plan that they offer. That's going to be the number one place for you to start if you're looking to journal your trades and track your data correctly. It's way beyond just taking a picture of your trade and putting a couple of text bubbles on it. It's actually going to give you the data telling you where to make improvements, where you're doing well, and it's also going to tell you where your weak points are and where you need to hopefully cut some of the fat to make your trading more profitable. So if you haven't checked out TradeZella already, there's a link down in the description. Use the code ASFX and that'll save you 20%. Now here we are. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's cool. I think that that's a common issue is certain trading communities, the guys that are running it get very big, and then
Yeah.
your questions as the new people are just overlooked. Like it's just hard to answer all that. I think that's very, very common. What made you specifically leave stocks and focus on prop, like futures trading? Was it just me and the group because you're around people doing it? You're like, all right, I'm going to stop doing this stock thing because it's not working. Was there something you didn't like about it? Like what specifically pushed you to prop firms?
To be straight up honest, you told me to. You told me
Okay,
to trade
fair.
prop firms, and I was like, I was in the group, and I was still trading stocks at the time, and I was using my own account. And once I started, when you first hear about prop firms in stock land, and you've never heard it before, it's a little like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't care. Like, I don't know anything about this. But then once it started making sense as far as what of my actual money I was risking to learn how to trade, it was a no-brainer. So to me, a chart is a chart. I could trade a stock, I could trade futures. That doesn't matter to me. So it was really easy for me to just switch over to futures because I could still continue learning the same craft. I was still reading chart patterns. I was still taking entries on bar charts. Same. I know it's a different asset and all that stuff, but it just overall the risk made sense to not, drain my own bank account. I might as well buy the challenges at the time and then just learn that way.
And now they've only gotten cheaper and cheaper. So that logic
Yeah.
makes even more sense, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think people as prop traders want to trade live with prop firms? Or do you think that people that go to prop firms from your position, equity trader turned prop trader, are you doing it for a live account or are you doing it just to take payouts and then fund your own futures account?
I a little bit of both. I could see going
Okay.
live being as a really positive route. But I can also see getting trapped in prop firms for too long and not trying to build your own account being a problem. So I think you could do both. Um, the leverage that you get on prop firms, I think, is just better right now, especially with copy trading. You can't really, I mean, you can have leverage on your own brokerage account, but it just doesn't feel the same as
No.
what you have on prop firms. So I think going live would be amazing one day. I think if you were able to build a relationship with a company that has a whole lot of cash, like that's why wouldn't you do that? That makes sense to
Right.
me.
Prove to them that
Yeah.
you can trade and then build
Yes.
with them. Yeah,
Yeah, and they have the cash. Like, am I gonna have millions and millions of dollars in a trading account one day? Maybe, but is it more likely that the prop firm is gonna have that right now and I can get to that goal a lot quicker? Probably.
for sure. Before we leave prop firms and equity
Yeah.
trading, any big lessons that you can think back to, like what led to some of the losses other than the group being too big? Was it the orb strategy? Was it too many stocks to choose from? What lessons did you take from your time as a stock trader?
The orb strategy is hard. It is really hard. I
Yeah.
think you have to be a really damn good trader to do it. I think it's possible. Fun fact, my first year of trading, I only lost $1,800.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
So I have never I've lost more money in paying for prop firms than I've ever lost in the actual market.
Wow.
But I chose to do prop firms instead of continuing my account. However, so the orb strategy is difficult. It takes a lot of balls to press that button so quickly after the market opens. And you got to be quick in and you got to be quick out. And you have to practice that day in and day out for a lot of time. I did not spend longer than a year in a little bit on the orb strategy. Would I go back to it now? No, I've already gone down the road of a different strategy altogether. I think it's possible, but I mean, look at Andrew Aziz. He's traded for years, years and years, and that man still makes big losses. Like, he's not impervious to losing money. So it's a hard strategy and it needs a lot of work, basically.
VWAP being easier because I know
I
you're
think
trading VWAP now.
VWAP's easier. It's
Why?
slower. It's slower.
Slower.
You have more information. Like, think about the amount of information you have at the open compared to what you have 15 minutes, 30 minutes after the open. There's a lot more information. So you have to make decisions based on the information that you have. And the orb gives you 1 to 5 minutes of info, whereas trading a VWAP gives you 15 minutes to half an hour to an hour even. So that just in that alone is it's slower, it's easier, it's more manageable, I think.
I struggled with so many stocks to choose. What were you
Yes.
trading? Were you focused on just a few? Because we always would joke about
Yep.
you trading Tesla, but I know it wasn't just Tesla.
Yeah, I traded a lot of Tesla, usually the Mag 7 I looked at. But any like big cap stocks that gapped up or down is what you were looking at. And you would use your scanner. So you'd have a scanner,
Got it.
Bearball had one. You go on at the beginning of the day, you have your list of what stocks have gapped, and then you have to prep yourself by looking at all of those charts. So you like think about that alone. It's already more difficult because you can have 8 to 10 stocks that you're essentially looking at for the day. Maybe you
Right.
whittle that down to 3 or 4 that you need to be watching and to be ready to jump in between a minute and 5 minutes of the open. Like, it already sounds crazy.
It is definitely more difficult. Well, when
Yes.
you compare it to what you're doing now, we're like, you told me before we started the recording, you were like, I took a trade today. I just know you trade ES a lot. So I just looked, I knew exactly what you would be
Yeah.
in. I almost guessed the price perfectly because it's
Yes.
like when you study one asset, you start to know it better. So I think that that's a
Yeah.
true thing. Any other like differences between what you were doing with the stocks versus what you're doing with futures that stand out to you that you're like, oh, I would have probably had an easier go if I didn't have so many stocks to choose from, or if I didn't have this much something?
For sure, if I was able to whittle down the stocks that I traded every single day. Like, if I created my list of 4 or 3, the problem is that they don't gap up. Then what are you going to do? You're just
Right.
going to sit on your hands,
Nothing.
not doing it.
Right.
So
Right.
it's really hard to compare them like that. I think a big difference that I found is one asset, just going down to one asset and going down to right now for me, one entry basically, like focusing on one entry, one asset, and keeping it so simple.
Great tip.
Yeah.
Great tip. Go to prop firms now. You've tried a lot of different prop firms. If someone listening to this, because I'm sure there will be other stay-at-home moms, other
Mm.
maybe uh some of the fellas that haven't jumped into prop land yet. Any things to look out for? Any things that you're like, go with a firm that does this or doesn't do that now that because you've tried everybody, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe say who you've tried too.
So I've tried Top Step, Tradeify, and Top One Futures.
Okay.
Even though it's
Pretty big
only
ones.
3 firms, I've tried basically combines or challenges versus straight to funded. And I've tried end of day drawdown and the trailing drawdown as well.
Okay.
Um, my mind is very torn on prop firms. To be honest, I think it's a nightmare of a game. I honestly do. It gives, like, it's great for risk, but it is actually, don't be fooled. I think trading in prop is harder than actually trading live, and for a couple
Really?
reasons. Yes. Yeah.
Tell me.
I mean,
Tell me.
your consistency, your trailing drawdown, all these things make a difference. And even having a goal, a profit target. So I think those are the three things. Your difference of drawdown, your drawdown cap, obviously, your profit target, and your consistency. These are all things that you don't have on a personal account unless you put them on.
Sure.
And I mean, you can lose all your money in a personal account, and that would be your max drawdown. But it's unless you had only a $2,000 account, like it's just not the same. It's hard to explain, but it's not the same. So I
So
think
why are you still trading with prop firms then, Christine?
because of the risk is
So
better
it's
because
even though it's harder,
yes,
you're saying it's still
yes,
worth it.
yeah, I think so. When you're
Interesting.
learning, for sure, but don't, like, I've had to learn this and I'm still learning in this. I cannot beat myself up for not being ahead of the game or being like raining down payouts because prop firms they put another layer of difficult onto trading, in my opinion. And I feel like I've talked to a lot of traders now with doing the podcast that it's like the same kind of idea. It gives you something mentally that holds you back from just trading. It is not just trading when you're trading prop firms. You are trading in prop firms. And I think that's an important designation. You're not just a trader, you're a prop firm trader. That's totally different.
I think a lot of people would agree with you. When
Yeah.
you mentioned in the podcast, what has the opinion been of the guests? You've had Lawrence on, you've had Zach on. Those are
Yeah.
guys that have been on my podcast as well. They're
Yeah.
like big into prop, but you're
Yeah.
saying even to them, they would agree
I,
long term. The thought is get away from prop. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if they would get away from prop, but I think everyone can agree that there is another layer, that it's not just simple, oh, you've lessened your risk by going the prop firm route.
No,
It's not
there's
just
rules now
that.
you have to
There's
play by if you want
rules.
to make money.
Exactly. And those rules in your mind are give you a different stage than what trading on your own personal account is.
Yeah.
Like it's
Okay.
all
La-
mental.
what would you mean by that?
Like it's just all like, even talking about it, like I understand that I'm allowing those rules to cause me to act differently trading a prop firm than how I would trading in my own capital. And that,
Fair.
but that's me, that my mind, my psychology has decided that.
Well,
But
because
you,
if you want to debate it, I think I got better at trading when my Forex funds came out and I started trading
yeah,
with my Forex funds. And they were like, you have 30 days to pass this challenge. And I was like, okay, my back's against the wall. I got to figure it out. I've said that before on the podcast. So I think there's the other side of the coin too for some people that are like, you put the rat against the, in the corner and see what he's got. And then some of us can figure it out. You know what I mean? But I do agree as well that it is like not like trading your own money. It's totally different.
so, have you traded your own money recently?
Oh, I don't even know. No, years.
What I'm asking you, what if you opened up your own personal account tomorrow and started trading that?
I think I would do well because I
Yeah.
would not trade heavy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then I think I would just compound gains and probably still be able to take monthly payouts, like Mark in the Black
Yeah.
Shirt Club, some of the other guys, right? Shout out to
Yeah.
Mark Ross. He was on the podcast too. So it's like, I think there's proof now. You've taken payouts. Now you can definitely manage your own
True.
money.
Yeah.
But when
100%.
I started with prop firms back in the day, before you knew me, Christine, I wasn't taking monthly payouts of my own money.
Yeah.
So it was like, this might be a better option because I'm
Yes.
losing my own money for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think when you're building your rules and building the craft of how to trade, there's nothing, you can't beat the world of prop firms, even though it adds on all these layers. Basically, you just have to pick which is worse, like losing all your money in a personal account or having to play with the mental game of trading prop firm. I would choose trading with prop firm.
And I think a lot of the listeners would too.
Yeah.
So I got a different direction I want to go. Andrew, your husband, has his own business,
Yes.
and it's online. You guys are traveling, you're doing your
Yep.
thing, but you still have kids. A
Right.
lot of the listeners have families, and
Mhm.
they wonder, can I trade and still work a job, or still trade and still take care of my kids and not neglect my kids? How have you found balance in doing all of that? How often are you taking breaks from trading, like you mentioned earlier? Can you speak on that?
Yeah, it is really hard sometimes because when I don't know if people resonate with this, but you get obsessed with trading and you just want to fucking sit at the chart all day and you want to
You
read about
the fact that you said, "I don't know if people are gonna relate to this," everyone is laughing like me because it's like, that's why we're listening to a podcast called The Day Trading Show, because I'm
yes,
obsessed with day trading. What do you mean?
yeah,
Right.
like it's on in my car. My kids are in the back. They're like, "What is this?"
Right.
I'm like, just look out the window.
Just shut up, Austin's talking.
Yeah. Like, so that can be hard to find balance, but I think the longer you're in it, there's a certain point, like right now, I kind of feel like I'll show up to the charts for a couple hours and then I'm like, I just don't have the energy. Like, I don't have the energy to sit here and wait for another entry when I could be downstairs hanging out with my kids, running around or coloring or something silly like
Love
that.
that.
So, and I think in the long term, I always wanted to do trading because of the time it could give me, because of how I could dictate when I work and when I don't. And unfortunately, in the beginning, just like anybody starting a business, that's all your brain thinks about. So you spend all your time doing it. So I think it takes a little while to find balance. I'm a lot better now than I was. Luckily, my kids, they go to school when they're in Mexico. So I have, from 8 o'clock till 2. I don't always spend the whole day at the charts. You could if I wanted to, but now I'm like almost going on 3 years in. So I just don't have it in me to sit there and look at the screen all day. So I do find the balance a lot easier. For me, we do travel a lot. So I will just take off like 3 weeks. I just won't trade for 3 weeks. And that can be hard in itself, but at least it gives me the opportunity to do that. What other job can I go to and be like, oh, I need to request another 3 weeks off because I'm traveling to Mexico for the second time this year? Like, is that cool? No,
Only this job. That's for
only this
sure.
job.
Only this job.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But with the balance and the taking the time off, I think it's good for people to hear that, because a lot of people will burn all the way out and
Yeah.
think that if they take a break, it's like a weakness. It's like, there's other people getting after it, Christine. I got to get after it. And
Yeah.
it's not. I've seen you take breaks. I've seen other people take breaks and they come back and they're refreshed and they trade really well. You don't
Mhm.
lose the information. Like, we remember when we were growing up, they used to say it's like riding a bike. You never forget. It's very similar, right? The
Yeah.
market cycle may change, the dynamic may change, but you're not going to forget how to read a VWAP if you take 3 weeks and hang out with your family.
No, I'll never forget how to read a VWAP.
Yeah,
Not for the rest of
there
my
it is.
life.
There,
Yeah.
not for the rest of my life. Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about strategy then. So, balance is important. Touched on that.
Yeah.
Prop firms are important. Touched on that. Strategy now. When you leave the opening range break strategy, which is
Mhm.
super common,
Yeah.
and I hate that trade to begin with because it loses a lot. When you
Mhm.
leave that, VWAP, you said, becomes more appealing because it's slower, but you
Yeah.
also must have started to win more trades, or at least win bigger trades, I'm going to guess. Like, what was the outcomes that then made you buy in, and like, how are you working the VWAP now so that
Mhm.
listeners maybe that are not trading VWAP could start?
Yeah, so I didn't go directly from the orb to VWAP. I ended up
Okay.
starting what was it, your A1 strategy?
Oh,
A1
yes.
or A2? I was trading that on stocks for a little bit. And then I transferred over to more VWAP, but I was doing high a day break VWAP, low a day break VWAP. And then I was doing opening range, but like the 15 opening minute opening range, like break and retest. So I had ended up accumulating probably about 4 or 5 different entries that I had been trading over the last, like, since I started with you to honestly like a month ago, when I finally looked back at my stuff and I was like, I'm taking like 4 to 5 different types of entries and I'm still like break even. Like, I'm pretty clear on that. I have not made a payout yet. I've made some money swing trading now, thank goodness, because it kind of helps fund the day trading side, but I'm still working on being profitable. So I realized that I had to really like hone in what trade, and basically it was the VWAP, because essentially that is always going to be your best price if you're trading with trend. Like, if you're trading with the VWAP, the high day VWAPs are not going to be your best price. The low of day won't be your best price. It'll always be off the daily VWAP. So I just basically decided to trade that, and that's what I'm focused on now, which has been really helpful, I think.
With the 4 or 5 entries that you had,
Yeah.
Was it difficult to step away from them? Because like even before we started the podcast, you were telling me you have one account where you're doing this reversion stuff,
Yeah.
and then the funded accounts they only get the VWAP stuff. So it seems like it always pulls you back a little bit to tweak. How do you
Yeah.
fight that?
So I struggle with being consistent. I am like, well, I'll listen to your podcast, right? When it comes out, you put them out weekly, and there'll be like this great tip from somebody, and I'm like, oh, I'll have to implement that. So I'll get on my keyboard that week and I'll start trying that. But obviously, it's not something that I'm like
I
really
wouldn't say that's
about.
lack of consistency. Sorry to cut you off. I would
No,
say
it's
that's
fine.
maybe easily swayed
Yes,
by
for
the
sure.
shiny object, right?
Yes,
Which again, okay, is kind of like I'm inconsistent to the thing I was doing. But when
yeah,
you haven't taken any payouts yet, you've only made money swing trading, you're like, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, right? Like I don't think I've ever shunned you for trying
no,
new things. But when we talk about it and you DM me and you're like, I'm doing this now, I'm like, but didn't we say on our call 2 weeks ago that we're not doing that or we're stopping at a certain time? And you're like, yeah, but I want to do this now. So I think it's like
yes,
it's a pull that a lot of the listeners will feel. A lot of people that haven't reached the level they want to reach yet, they're going to be like, well, maybe the puzzle is broken. But that's where I think a lot of people, I actually am coaching this guy named Carrie. And
hmm,
like when you're out of the uh day to day, you zoom out, you see maybe the puzzle isn't broken. Maybe I'm just not accepting the amount of losses I'm going to take. You know what I'm
right.
thinking? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Does that make sense? Have you
yeah,
had
for
that thought?
sure. Yes, I've had the thought
But I
of
think you take losses pretty well. You're not like torching accounts.
no, I'm not. My obviously I'm not the best loser yet. I will be one day, but
After the
it's a
conference
process.
in
After the
October
conference,
and you
of
meet
course.
Tom Hugard, right?
I've gotten better at trying to figure out how to I am a shiny object kind of person. Like you can sell anything to me. Don't come at me and try to sell something because I will probably buy it. I'm very like I can be easily swayed, but I've been learning how to basically rope that in. So for example, because I've been working on my VWAP entries and I'm only going long. So VWAP long, that is like controlled to my funded account. And then now that I'm trying the reverse trades, because I am trying to figure out how I feel in trades and what management style I like better, I've kept those to a combine. They're on a totally separate account. So I don't want to mess with the data of my VWAP trades. So in figuring out how to like control myself a bit better, that is helpful. So I'm not totally messing up my like months of improvement on the VWAP trades by adding something in. I'm keeping them separate. And that's the really good part about prop accounts because
It's a
I can,
great tip for everybody.
yeah,
Separate it. You can buy
yeah,
another account for $50 or whatever it is
yeah.
and separate it.
It's a combine. It doesn't matter if I blow it. I'm practicing it. I'm writing down like how I feel in the trade. Do I like that it's, a bigger risk to reward? Is it less stressful? Is it more stressful? All these things because I know how I feel in VWAP trades right now. And I'm just trying to see if there's a way to manage them that I is better for my personality because I honestly think that's half the
Because
battle.
you have this cynical side of you, Christine.
Yeah.
This side that's like it's moving up, it's up, it's up, it's got to come back.
Well,
But I think
listen,
a lot of people have that.
yeah, that's from Stockland, I think. I think if you come from
Absolutely.
stocks, you always are coming back to the VWAP. So I think that's always been in my subconscious. So to work on some reverse plays, I don't think it's silly. I don't think it's
It's
stupid.
not silly. You know
Okay,
I do it
good.
too. So it's definitely not silly. But it's
Great.
funny when you yell at me on the stream. You're like, "Oh, he's fighting VWAP again." And now here you are. You're like, "I just got my little side account that I'm fighting the
Yeah.
VWAP on. It's fine."
It's called my reversal account.
Yeah, yeah. We only hang out sometimes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I only pick him up when I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the perspective on losses that you have grown into has
Mhm.
allowed you to stay disciplined and committed, even though maybe the payouts don't match where you want them to be, right?
Yeah.
Still making money swing trading, which is great, but like the
Yes.
payouts, a lot of people I think would spin the wheel and give up after a month or two, and you haven't.
No.
Why are you still trading? Like, why are you still doing this, even though it's challenging you so much? It's putting in front of you this mirror saying, hey, you're not consistent all the time, maybe as much
Yeah.
as you thought. Hey, you're not as accountable to yourself. And why are you still doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think at some point in your life, you have to decide to make something work. I don't care what it is. It can be anything, but for me, it was trading. I had given up on too many things. I went to 4 different universities and they were all different majors, and I've tried 6 different jobs and they were all different things. Like I had to pick something and I had to commit to it, and it was trading. And there's no other option. I have no other option. I understand that I'm still here, and people sometimes look at me and they're like, "Ooh, like how long are you going to continue in something that's not fruitful?" And I'm like, "Well, until it grows a fucking orange." Like,
Is that the question from Thomas?
no, that's not.
Okay, Thomas said the same thing to me last week. He said, I think it was Thomas. Someone said something. Maybe it was Randy. One of you three said something to me about like, how long are you going to keep? Maybe it was Jen on the pod. Someone said it exactly that way.
Yeah.
Fruitful. How long are you going to do something till it's fruitful? Like, I think it was Thomas saying like a business coach, or no, maybe it was
No.
James. Maybe James is business coach.
Okay, James
I don't
said that,
remember.
but my
Okay.
husband's business coach also asked me that, and I respect this guy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. So this
smart
was okay.
too.
So this,
Yes,
yes, yeah, Mark, right,
but he's
and
not a
and
trader. No,
he's not a trader.
if you are not a trader, don't come to me and say, "How long are you gonna do this for?" Because if you're a trader, you're gonna come to me and say, "Oh, you've only been in it 3 years? Well, you got another fucking 15 before you see any profit at all, so keep going."
I
Like,
agree.
people don't
I
get
think
it.
you see those big gains though. Like for me, it
Yeah,
was year 4, 5, 6. Like those were the 3 years
I'm
that made
hoping.
all those first 4 worth it.
Yeah,
The first 4 was so bad. Like when you look at Randy, even you,
yeah.
because like I would say like going from stock trading, that is so different than prop.
Mhm.
Like to be able to see guys like Randy and some of the other people in the Blackshirt Club do so well so quickly,
Yeah.
like I'm telling you, like I spent so many years not making money. 3, almost 4 years. So it is crazy to see some people go, "Oh, you've been doing that for 3 years, you're still not making as much money as a full-time job or a six figure you're not making
Mhm.
doctor salary yet." No, but like look at the freedom it provides for those of the guys that do figure it out. So you must be thinking down the road, copy trading is in the plan here because once the payouts start to roll in, the confidence is there, then we start copy trading, right? Because then the
Yeah.
money starts coming in.
Oh, for sure. Copy trading,
Yeah.
bigger accounts, upping
What's
my
your
size.
husband saying through this whole time? That's what the listeners are probably thinking. She said her husband runs a business. He's an entrepreneur. So he probably supports her in the
Yeah,
grind of figuring this out, right?
yeah.
What does he say?
Oh, he's, like, so supportive, so supportive. He basically, like, he'll ask me sometimes, like, "Okay, what do you think?" And I feel bad because sometimes I just can't talk to him about it, right? He's probably gonna listen to this and be like, "What are you talking about? You can't talk to me about it." But he'll give, like, he's not a trader, so but he's very into personal development, so he'll like say something and it's probably right, but I can't hear it because I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about, you haven't been grinding it on the charts for the last
You're
three
so funny.
years like I just can't. But he's super supportive, he knows how much I want it, like he'll celebrate in the small wins, like our podcast, for example. That's a huge win for me. I'm learning how to still be proud of what I'm doing without taking money into my bank account from trading. So, Behind the Charts podcast has been amazing. I've gotten to talk to a lot of people and we've had a lot of good feedback from it. So that's a huge win. So I am moving forward. I am making big gains. They just happen
I
to not
agree.
be dollar bills yet. One day, but
But
not today.
even the trajectory of the financial side of prop trading is
Yeah.
so jagged. It is not linear, like
Yes.
straight up. Look at like Randy. Randy took some payouts, tweaked some things, hasn't taken another payout. Look at
Mhm.
me. I took like monthly payouts up until this month, haven't taken a payout this in July. So it's like the perception of how you make money as a trader is not even in the
Yeah.
same conversation as somebody who is not a trader. Like they don't get it. They're never going to understand. You what do you mean
Yeah.
you didn't make money this month? Like what do you mean?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I lost money or I didn't trade well, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I didn't make money. People can't
Yeah.
wrap their head around that a lot of the time
No.
when they're not in the game. Yeah.
No, it's different. It's
Yeah.
just not a normal job. It's not normal. None of this is normal.
No, definitely not. But it's a challenge and that's why you like it. You like the problem solving aspect of it.
Yeah.
So what advice would you go back and say to younger Christine when she started with even Andrew? Like what advice do you have do you have any regrets?
The only regret I have is taking the year off, I guess. I wish I had have just kept going, but, circumstances. I think I would have said, for honestly, forget about the dollar amount. I remember I had a page that I wrote and I said my daily goal was to make $100 a day. And this was like my first like 2 months of trading and I had it up on my wall. So from the very beginning, I was always thinking, I want to make money. I want to make money. I want to make money. And that's what I would go say is don't worry about making the money, because 3 years later, when you're still not making money, doesn't mean that you're not still on the path to make all the money. Because that's what I'm essentially here for, to make all the money, not just money. And all these days of losses will get me to making all the money, I think.
I
Or I
love it. And at the same time, you're learning. Like
Yeah,
it will get
yeah.
you to the loss. It will get you to the money by learning from the losses.
Just yesterday when I was on my reversal account, I think I took 4 or 5 losses, but what I learned from that was amazing. I was typing out all my emotions through it all. I was able to say, okay, I like the feeling of this. I don't like the feeling of that. Like that was more valuable to lose all that. And what does it matter? It's on a combine. It cost me $50. But what I
Nothing.
got from that one day was better than what I got from a winning trade that I took today on that account.
Who's been the best podcast guest that you've had so far? You can say it.
My first thought is Act.
Why? That's so interesting.
I know, because he is just a normal trader. Like,
He's not like a YouTube boy like Lawrence
no,
or me or
he's
Zach,
not
right? He's just a trader.
he's not selling anything. He has Sure, he has tips and tricks, but he doesn't have tips and tricks, you know? He is just
Yeah.
telling you what he's seen
How it
work,
is.
what worked for him. I loved how he talked about making money the wrong way doesn't last. So it really helps me in my moment. I don't wanna make money the wrong way because I wanna make all the money and I want it to be for a long time. So I need it to be made the right way. So yeah, I loved his podcast because I think that just essentially really gave what our podcast was about. Just normal traders like the person listening here, talking with a bunch of other normal traders. Yeah. So that was a good one for me.
Yeah, I mean, Act's been around for a long time,
I
so
know.
it is good to see him. You guys had him up at the ass crack of dawn at 4 in the morning,
I
but
know.
it's okay.
And I mean, like, he doesn't have a mic. He has like a regular computer. Like, it's not like this fancy show. It's just straight up normal trading, normal people talking about
Christine,
trading.
do you think that the sharing of the content, like doing the podcast
Mhm.
now, you got your Twitter account, do you think that that's helped you, or do you think that it's been a distraction? Because it kind of sounds like you're throwing jabs at people like me that have a nice microphone and a fancy setup. So do you think it actually helped? Do you think it
It
good?
it's been interesting. You know me. Most people don't know me, so I struggle with that because I don't want people out there thinking that I'm trying to sell them something just to make a dollar off of it. Um, but that's me. I hold myself back in that way. I've been live streaming with Randy, and that's been cool. Like we have people that come on every time we're streaming, and now we've gotten this little gang, and it's really cool to see the community. And I think that's been my favorite part about trading. And the biggest thing, like, if I had you didn't ask me this, but if I had any recommendation to be a successful trader, it would be to find friends. Pay for them if you have to, like I did, but find them. Because if you don't have trading friends that continually encourage you to like come back to the desk every day, then it's so easy to quit on yourself, but it's not easy to quit on somebody else. So trading
Great advice.
friends is the best. So going to live stream every day, I see these guys twice a week. They're all calling out their trades. We're all seeing how are you doing. We're all giving each other support if you lost your trade, if you made a stupid trade. So that's helped for sure.
Yeah,
X, Twitter is a cesspool of negativity. I'm
it
like,
is.
I think I might just quit that part because it's silly, like I can't consume that. As you can sell me anything. So if someone says something horribly negative, I'm taking that to heart. So I just shouldn't be reading it. So I think Twitter I've got to cut out, but there's a lot of good spots like YouTube is great. I think
Yeah.
even Instagram might be a little bit more chill because you don't have as much negativity. I don't know. You can tell me about that one, but
Oh, I could talk to you about that for a while, but we
You
don't need
get
to derail the
you can help.
podcast.
You're a shit starter though, I feel like.
I am. That's how you have to
Yeah,
be if you're going to be on Twitter. Like you have to be able to
right.
take it and dish it and throw it. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
I tweeted something the other day because I was at the gym and I saw all these high school kids on summer break working out with their girlfriend, and I was like, don't go to the gym. Did you see this tweet? I was like,
No,
don't go to the gym and work out with your girlfriend. That's gay. Be a man. Lift alone. That was my so like
you
I'll
look
start
by
shits with
yourself.
people sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm there by myself on the phone with Liam, my trainer. You know what I'm saying? Look, I got to what's more gay, working out with your girlfriend or having a dude talk to you while you're in the public gym? Probably
Yeah.
what I'm doing, but it didn't matter because I'm still gonna talk shit.
That's
Okay, last
amazing.
question, then I'm gonna let you go, Christine, because
Okay.
we're gonna do a part 2.
Yeah.
This is a different last question than I normally ask.
Oh
So we'll
gosh.
throw the listeners for a curveball. Well, it's good because we have another thing coming up. We got the seminar. If you didn't know,
Yeah.
everybody, Christine is coming. I'm going to be speaking with Tom Hugard and David Capablanca. Buy a
Yeah.
ticket, friendlybearuniversity.com/events. David actually might be on the podcast next weekend to talk about it.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Christine will be there. We're going to have a dinner. It's
Mhm.
going to be fun, everybody. But we're going to do a podcast. So I have to ask you, what promise can you make to yourself today that we can
Mhm.
look back on at that podcast in 2 months and you be like, oh, I did that and that helped me?
That helped me? It has to be a promise that helps me?
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, either it'll teach you something or it'll help you make money. Like it's going to help you regardless.
Okay,
What do
so
you what can we say is the accountability?
the only promise that I can make is I won't change my entry on my one account. I
Okay,
won't
so
touch
you're
my
going to
VWAP
trade
page.
the funded account, the VWAP. Keep doing
Yes,
that from August 5th now
yes,
until October 10th.
yep, and if I lose
Okay,
them, I will buy another one, and I'll continue with the same entry VWAP trades, long only for now, unless we
yeah,
decide that I can short again, which right now I can't. So
yeah,
long VWAP trades, and yeah, I'll just keep going with that until I have enough data to tell me something.
I love it. So
Yeah,
let's send everybody then for today, Christine, to the podcast instead
yeah,
of to your X page. Yeah, send them to Behind the
yeah,
Charts.
yeah, let's
Okay.
do
So
that.
everybody, if you listened all the way through and you want to
Yeah,
connect with Christine, they're dropping episodes every week. I'll probably be
mhm,
on there in a couple of weeks. I think we're filming our first one
yes,
together. So
yeah,
definitely check it out. Behind the Charts. You're on Spotify. You're on YouTube. You're everywhere. You're on
yep,
iTunes,
yep,
right? You guys, the whole thing.
yep, you'll
Cool.
find us. If I decide to open up some social media, I'll get you to post it, but we'll
Okay.
see.
I repost you every time I see it. I'm like, give her
I
the
know.
likes because I want you to
Yeah.
get all the attention so that way you keep doing
Mhm.
it. But I know it's like, yeah, that one tweet you had, remember like one of the first ones,
Yep,
it went crazy, like over
crazy.
100,000 views or something.
Yeah, and that was 6 losing days in a row. People love to
Oh,
see
they love to
people.
see the losses.
Yeah.
Don't even show your wins. They just want to see
No,
you
why
lose.
not?
So that way they
Yeah.
know that they're the same as you.
Yes. It's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people, honestly, I think one of the most valuable things you said today, Christine, is about finding trader friends. A lot of people are
Yep.
trading by themselves and they don't get the problems
Yeah.
fixed because they just keep in their own echo chamber. And then they go
Yep.
on X and they want to see, oh, she lost too, so I'm okay. I'll just buy more. Like, you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
want to feel not alone, but they're
Yeah,
alone
people you want relatability, but don't just relate to people you see online. You need to find somebody. You need like
for sure.
I know most traders are kind of social. Some of them are social nerds, but there is another nerd out there waiting like for you. There's someone for everybody, so I really think we all just have to create our own communities, pay for it. Like I said, go to coaching. Black Shirt Club is a great one. There's
Oh,
there's
thanks.
lots of other coaching. You're welcome. Not to plug you or anything, but honestly, it's where
Right.
I found all my friends. Thomas,
Yeah.
Randy, like that's where I
Now
found my
we all go to
community.
events and hang out.
Yes. Yeah, and I had to
Yeah.
pay for that, but worth
And we're
every
still
cent.
learning, like just for the
Yeah.
record, everybody. Me and Christine still do coaching calls. We're still working and
Yeah.
making progress here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like again, maybe it's just the expectation of the progress. I mean, for most people,
Mm,
it's off. You know what I mean? Like when you started getting into prop firms, you're probably like, I'll take payouts in the first couple of months. That
mhm,
is again flawed. Like I didn't take
mhm.
like a lot of people don't take payouts in the so it's like it's always about perspective when you
Yeah.
go back to even what you said about other people commenting on trading. It's perspective of how to make money, perspective on how to,
Mhm.
live a successful life.
Yeah,
So
ensure comparison. When you compare yourself to other people, and I do this a lot, and you've told me, like you've said to me, stop comparing yourself to people because I look
yeah,
at
because you're
Randy, I look
easily
at Thomas.
swayed.
Yeah, they've made
Yeah.
payouts, and I'm
Like a
like,
lot of
well,
us. Right.
yeah, why haven't I made a payout? It
Well, because
doesn't
you're going to
matter.
make more payouts sticking to
Yeah,
your way, to doing it your way. That's what you
there
got
you
to
go.
believe in.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make all the money.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I love it. I love it. Everybody, make sure you connect with Christine, Randy, and Thomas on Behind the Charts. Christine, thanks for finally doing this. I'm glad we got to get it done. Until next time, until we see each other in 2 months, we'll put a pin in
Yeah.
it here. Listeners, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you tune in every Saturday, new episodes every Saturday. I think we'll have David on next week. I know you guys like David, so that'll be good.
Mhm.
But thanks, Christine. You're awesome. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Bye.